Hey guys, it's Darth Deuces with another Black Series 6-inch action figure review. And today I have a figure from the recent Wave 13 of Black Series figures. It is the Elite Praetorian Guard. I picked this up at a comic book store. It's the first time I've seen that wave in person. And the Elite Praetorian Guard is pretty much the only figure I really wanted from that wave. The Poe looks alright, the fin looks pretty cool, but this is the only one I really wanted. But yeah, I'll take a look at the packaging first, and as you can see, you've got the Star Wars logo there. You got the figure in the packaging, an image of the Elite Praetorian Guard. He's number 50. Another image of the Praetorian Guard. You get a read up here, which reads, as Supreme Leader of the First Order, Snoke was flanked by crimson-clad guardians, loyal protectors encased in ornate armor, ready to defend the Supreme Leader from any threat. So, yep. That's pretty much it for the packaging. Not much else going on. They're pretty much, the sequel trilogy version of the Emperor's Royal Guard, obviously. So yeah, no, they look pretty cool. Anyways, let's get them out of the packaging. We'll take a close look at the figure. Alright, now we got the Elite Praetorian Guard out of the packaging. And it's a cool figure. And there's definitely things I like about it. I'm digging the overall design of the character. It does have its issues. It's not a perfect figure by any means, but we'll get into that. First, we'll take a look at the paint and the sculpt. The sculpt's pretty good. You have parts of his armor, which are in a nice, my camera's not picking up too well, but it's a nice, bright, glossy red. The helmet looks really cool. It's got these lines here, sculpted lines, which looks really good. You got some sculpt detail on the back of the helmet, and underneath you got like his undershirt or something. This really nice sculpted detail, and then more flatter matte red. You got the chest armor here. You got a little black paint app there, and some nice sculpted detail. A very First Order like, and also a very samurai looking outfit, I think. You got the shoulder pads here, which are on ball joints, so they can rotate and they can move out, so they don't hinder articulation, which is really cool. They can pop out relatively easily, but it's not too bad. You get the arms here, which have this really cool sort of layered sort of design, which is really cool. We'll get more into that a little later when we go into articulation. But they look really good, and you got glossy red for the armor and the gloves, which is very cool. Just a sec here. Let's put that down real quick. There we go. Maybe that'll help. The lower robe here is in 4 separate parts. There's slits, so there's flaps on the back side, front side, and the sides. So it doesn't hinder too much movement, and these plastic bits are very pliable material, so they don't hinder articulation too much, which is really good. It has a nice sculpted detail. Flipping that up, he has some black pants there, which has some nice sculpted detail to mimic fabric, and he has his armor on his knees and his shins, which again are in a nice glossy red with black bottoms for his feet, and he does have 2 peg holes at the bottom of his feet. And I think he does look really good. Obviously, there's not a whole lot to talk about because it's just red with some sculpting detail, pretty much. But the variations of different red do look cool. And I am digging the design. I mean, I think I do still prefer the Emperor's Royal Guard, but these are really cool. I do like the look, and I'm excited to see them in the movie. In terms of articulation, he is both good and bad when it comes to articulation. Head articulation is really good because you can look up a decent amount, and you look down a decent amount, and you can pivot. Head articulation is really good with the ball joint and the hinge. He's a ball hinge at the shoulder, which can go all the way out and can rotate. If you rotate it all the way around, these are going to pop off, but you're probably not going to have his arms all the way up for them usually, so. The interesting part comes to his elbows. He actually has 2 elbow joints. He has an elbow joint right here and an elbow joint right here, and this part of the armor is a more pliable plastic. And it's a very interesting way to engineer articulation. It's completely hidden, and aesthetically looks really good, but it also very much hinders articulation. This is about as much bend as you're going to get, maybe just shy of 90 degrees, which isn't bad. I thought it was going to be way worse, but it's still not great. I've heard of some people making little cuts into that plastic piece to allow for more articulation. I haven't done that. Don't know if I will do it. With this elbow articulation, you can get most of the poses you're probably going to want, but still, it does kind of suck, and it is really sketchy to move these joints because I don't want to break the figure, but this one I really had to put some force into to actually move, so that's a little off-putting, I'm not going to lie. He has a diaphragm joint which moves really well. He crunches forward, crunches back, pivots, and rotates. It's really cool. He has a swivel at the waist. If I flip that up, he has a swivel right at the waist there. Ball hinges at the hips, which move really good. He can go all the way out and forward and back because of these slits, which is really good. Swivel cut at the thigh, Double hinges at the knees, and hinges the ankles with rockers. This hinge on my foot is a little loose depending on where you have it, but it's not too bad. In terms of accessories, he comes with one accessory, which is his blade on a staff thing, or his spear, or whatever you want to call it. It's not really a spear. I don't know what I want to call it a halberd, but I don't know if that's actually what it is. But it's a pole arm of some sort. It's really cool. You got a silver blade, which looks really nice. And the handle looks really good with silver paint apps as well as with the red. And you got some nice sculpted detail. And he holds it well in either hand. He can hold it in two-handed poses, which is awesome. Now, there are different variations of this guy. There's different helmet designs, and there's also a bunch of different weapons. In an ideal world, what would have been cool if they gave you a bunch of the different weapons with this figure, and perhaps even removable, interchangeable heads, so you can have either of the any of the Praetorian guards, and it would still be army buildable. Unfortunately, that's not the case. They're releasing multiple versions of the Praetorian Guard, because this is the single release. There's also a release in the Guards of Evil 4-pack, which has the weird-looking helmet and the two little blades that combine into one. And there's also the Amazon-exclusive Praetorian Heavy Guard, which I'm not sure if he has any design differences. I can't remember. He might have a different helmet. And he also comes with a large blade and like the sword-looking thing, so yeah, they're releasing a few different versions, and they're definitely milking the fact there's different designs, so I guess whatever. But overall, this is a really cool figure. If you're collecting the Last Jedi figures and collecting First Order figures, I would highly recommend picking this guy up. I think they're pretty cool and worth having if you're collecting those sort of figures. Before we go, actually, real quick, I'll do a really quick comparison. Here he is next to a First Order Stormtrooper, and they are about the same height, so I assume that makes sense. I mean, we haven't seen them in the movie, but I'm assuming they're humans and they're average height, so that scale's good, I'm going to assume. Anyways, it's a good figure. I recommend it if you can find it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and may the Force be with you.